All right, in today's episode, we're going to talk about a couple of items we recently picked up at a local antique shop. One of those items, 1984 Elvis toy guitar in the original box. Stay tuned. All right, so this is a brand new channel, so please make sure you share, like, subscribe, leave a comment down in the notes below, and we highly recommend checking out a couple of our other videos. In particular, I just uploaded one about Bruce Lee versus Mike Tyson that has a really funny skit at the end, and it also features some Halloween collectibles, some lunch boxes, some character dolls, and more. So definitely, when you're done finished watching this video, go check it out. All right, so let's get right into it. A lot of times when it rains on the weekend, you can't get out to the flea market, you can't get out to the yard sale. Well, sometimes we'll just Google search and find a local antique shop in our area that we can go to just to get out of the house and kind of go looking for some more stuff. You know, it's always a hunt, and we're always on the hunt. So with that, we found a couple of really cool items, and we'll start out with this one right here. A 1984 Elvis guitar in the original sealed box. So this one's really nice. It's got some awesome graphics on it. It's definitely one of those items that I bought because when I sell some items at the flea market, I'll take this item and put it out there and put it right in the front of my table. And when people are just out and about walking around, it'll draw them into your table, and then they'll see all your other stuff. So it's kind of like one of those things. Not a really high ticket item, but I guess you can get anywhere between obviously over $50 and maybe upwards of $150. So even if I put $100 on this at my table at the flea market and someone knocks me down to like 80 bucks, I'm still making $30 on it. So again, it's not really about the money. I kind of buy something like this because it draws people in, and then I could sell some more stuff. But this one, it was a really great deal. It was 50 bucks plus a 20% off. You really can't beat it, and I just really like it. I like Elvis stuff, and hopefully it'll stay popular, and hopefully people are going to remember the king. I mean, without Elvis, you definitely know you wouldn't have the Beatles, you wouldn't have the Neil Young, and we wouldn't have got to see that funny skit in Forrest Gump with the Elvis scene. You know, it is what it is. Elvis had a lot of influence on rock and roll, and we got to appreciate him for that. So on to the next item. Now, I'm a sucker for Viewmaster reels. Every time I go to the flea market or a yard sale or an antique shop and I see a box of Viewmasters, I always have to stop and look through them and just to see what's in there. So again, I always look for condition because the little flap on the back of these Viewmasters, they can be a little bit loose or torn or something like that. So if they're like that, I'm really not interested. I always get the ones that are in really great condition, and they have to have the booklet and all three reels. Those are the key pieces. And for me, again, I always go back to in all my videos, it's always about condition. Because if you're going to keep it for yourself, it better be in the best condition. And then if you're going to sell it, if it's the better condition the item is in, the easier it is to, to be able to sell it. So there you go. So let's start off with a couple of these. I'll show them up on the screen there so you get a better view of them. So let's start out with this one. Here we have the Smokey the Bear. I really remember those commercials when I was younger. You'd see them on TV, preventing forest fires and stuff like that. But this has some really nice graphics on it. So I like that one. Again, it's in great shape. Here we have your classic Bugs Bunny. He's sitting there just gnawing on a carrot. You got the 21 Viewmaster 21 stereo pictures there. That's nice. The next one up, we got the Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear Viewmaster. This one's in great condition again too. Really strong graphics. This guy's the three fairy tales, Little Red Riding Hood, the three little pigs, and the three Billy Goats Gruff. I like the graphics on this one. I thought that was pretty cool. And the last but not least, we have the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Now, man, I really do miss the circus. I think they brought it back recently, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know if they even have the animals anymore. I don't think that they do. But anyway, back in the day, this was awesome, man. I love going to the circus, and this reminds me of those times, And anyway, I just got these. These are in great shape. I mean, you can see the back of the package on this. This is just perfect. But anyway, I'll probably end up keeping these, and I probably got these for about $6 a piece. In total. So there you go. There you have it. All right. So next item up, Gene Loves Jezebel record. Now let's just talk about records for a little bit here and give you a little bit of context. Now I've been collecting records for a long time. I probably only have about 400 some odd records, but all of my records in my collection I have honestly picked up from yard sales, flea markets, antique shops, and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever bought a record from eBay or something like that, as far as I remember. Anyway, I just like to be out, and I like finding things like on the fly. You know, if it comes to me, then there it is. You know what I mean? It was meant to be, kind of thing. So let's talk about condition again. So when I'm at the flea market, one of the things I always look for is condition. And I swear, from like 10 feet away, I'll know whether or not these records are in good condition. Because a lot of times you see boxes and boxes and boxes of records, and you can just tell by the tops of them whether or not somebody took care of them or not. Because a lot of times they kind of look chewed up. It looks like they just took it and started grinding it on the pavement or something, because the tops are all beat up to death, and they look like they could have been left outside or got rained on. Who knows, and who cares? Because if I see something like that, I'm just going to beeline it to the next table. So here's what I like to do. Here's a little tip. I love collecting records, but it's secondary to finding other stuff like the toy guitar or lunch boxes. So when I get to the flea market, I'll do a initial scan. So I'm going like 100 miles an hour, boom, 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 down the different aisles, and I probably miss a lot of stuff too because I'm so fast. But anyway, I'll come back around after I do my initial scan for toys and stuff that I like to collect, and then I'll come back around to the records. Because if I get stuck at a table with a bunch of records and I start digging through it, it takes a while. And while I'm looking through those records, I guarantee there's 10 other people going to grab all the cool stuff at the flea market. You know, and all of a sudden he's walking by with a Santa Claus bag with like Star Wars vehicles in it and stuff like that. And then I'm a mess, you know what I mean? It's just not a good time. But anyway, that's the one thing I look for. It's always about condition. And once I buy these records, I like to bag them right away when I get home. And that's just to protect them. I kind of learned this a long time ago. I just like to protect everything I have. And if I go to sell it, if I sell these at the flea market, it kind of prevents people from just randomly coming up to the table that are not really interested, but they're kind of manhandling it. It kind of deters them from taking it out and doing things to the record I wouldn't want them to, really. You know what I mean? They just had a soft pretzel with mustard on it and they're just all handling it. Nah, I'm not good with that. So I'd rather have them all nice like this. And a serious collector will come up, and most of the time they're nice and they'll just say, hey, you mind if I take this out? Yeah, sure, knock yourself out. And then I know they're serious anyway. So anyway, I like to protect all my crap, and that's just the way it is. All right, next item up. We have this vintage Valentine's Day card. Now, I really like these, actually. I do look for other stuff other than like kind of the stuff behind me, like collectibles and Kiss stuff and stuff like that, records. Every time you go out there, you're not always going to find stuff like that. So whatever catches my eye, I like a lot of other stuff. It's not just toys and stuff like that. So if I'm in a shop or at the flea market, I'll dig around, and if I like it, I'll buy it. I mean, that's it. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with something like this. I'm not going to put it in a display case or anything like that. But I have a stack of postcards, vintage postcards and Halloween cards and stuff like that. And at the time, when I see it, I buy it. I don't know. Maybe it's an impulse or it's an addiction or something. But I love collecting stuff, and that's what I do. I'm a collector. Not necessarily a hoarder, but a collector. There is a difference, I think. I think there's a difference. But anyway, I really like this. You can move around the eyes on it and stuff like that by moving this lever in the back. But I think this one right here, I remember in school they used to come in little packs and you'd hand them out in like grade school, whatever, on Valentine's Day. This one, just based on the content with the grizzly bear and stuff like that, I'm guessing this is probably pre-1970s. But anyway, it just looks awesome, and I thought it was cool, and I got this for like 10 bucks. So there you go. All right, next item up from the antique shop pick. A 1955 Popular Mechanics book or magazine. These things are really nice, and of course what drew me to this one, I really like Volkswagen buses, especially the old ones, and this was just perfect. This has the orange bus on the cover. You got the little top out there, you got the guy camping, hanging out, and this is just a fun time. It's just kind of, I wasn't around 1955, but you can imagine, you get your family together, you go out on a picnic, you grab your bus. You know, I imagine that would have been a great time to spend with family. And these things are just really cool. So I got this for $5, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm definitely not going to keep it, but I'll probably bag and board it and take it to the flea market, because I know that somebody else will definitely appreciate something like this. And there's a lot of neat information in the Popular Mechanics, actually. You can learn how to like tie knots in here, and it's got tons of information on what, you know, just different subjects on how to fix things and, you know, new items to buy. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I really like this, and mainly because it had the bus on the cover. So there you have it. All right, so what would be a video without vintage KISS stuff in it? I don't know, you tell me. So anyway, KISS stuff is something I love collecting, and this is the 1977 vintage Pacifica KISS belt buckle. Now, in order to get these, you'd have to buy the record and get the little insert, and you would actually send away for this belt buckle. So with that, it's an item that I recently picked up, and how I got this, actually, I won a $200 gift card from my work, and I actually had another Visa gift card that I probably got from a birthday or something like that. So I had $250 to play with that didn't come out of my pocket, and I went on eBay actually, and I ended up buying this. I do buy stuff on there here and there when I like it, and for $250 for something in this condition, it's definitely worth it. It seems like a lot to spend on a belt buckle, but if you compare some of the prices, the sold prices actually, they cost more than that. So sometimes you can, you know, get a good deal on eBay if you get it on the right night or something like that. And I'm still a KISS collector, and this stuff is really, really hard to find at the flea market. So with that, I'm always going to be looking and buying stuff. I'm always looking on Facebook Marketplace, yard sales, flea markets, and eBay, anywhere I can, looking for vintage KISS stuff. And it's got to be the right price. I mean, yeah, there's probably 100 of these out there, but it's got to be in great condition, and I got to get it for a good price. So if you get it for $250, if I need to sell this eventually, I know I can probably get more than $250 out of it. So it's just something that I like to do. So there you go. All right, it's time for me to rock and roll. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and even leave a comment down below. And definitely go check out some of my other videos. I just put up one about Bruce Lee versus Mike Tyson, and that's got a really funny skit at the end. You're definitely going to want to see that. And it's also got some really cool vintage Halloween items in it. You got some lunch boxes or character dolls and stuff like that you'll definitely want to check out. So definitely come back again, and everybody have a great day and be safe out there. See ya.